Alright, it's a Hilux. Wait till you see this. I'm going to say it again. Just be very careful who you let work on your motor vehicle. And if anybody could do it right, we wouldn't have to be here telling you about this all over again. So whether you're going to work on your own vehicle or take it somewhere, or you're a technician in a workshop that's watching to learn, we're going to show you a whole heap of mistakes that have been made on this vehicle. I want to be clear, this is the first time we've seen it, and we're just sharing the information and doing some testing and going through the whole job really, because it's been absolutely butchered. So we'll get through everything one by one. Now, you know, look, in this one, we're probably not going to name and shame anyone. I'll tell you, this is how it works, all right? You don't talk about me, I don't talk about you, unless you do a really bad job. So let's see, by the end of this, we'll work out if, you know, if it's a name and shame, okay? So just remember that. I don't talk about you, you don't talk about me. And that includes big businesses. That includes Toyota dealerships, you know, with names like race cars, you know. We're not going to name anyone, but when they start going around saying Anthony does this and Anthony does that, just watch it, because I've got the reach. I've got the exposure here. So just be careful what you say and make sure you got it correct. That's what we're doing, making sure we got it correct. Have a look at this. This isn't correct. This is stupid. What's this orange stuff here? There's no need for any sealant there, and down on the manifold as well, right? And guess what? Wait till you see this. Let's go and have a look at this. Oh yeah, look at that. You know, it's a plate, an EGR plate with a 7mm hole. Look, great idea, but you had it in the wrong spot. You know, like, hello, you got to watch the information. There's no point watching because somebody said you need a 7mm hole. You need to put it in the right place. Think it through. It's amazing that's not blocked up actually. Let's have a look at the other side. Because, you know, you get a little bit of oil at that end. Okay, we're lucky this time. Oh, that's right. Catch can. It's got a catch can. Okay, so obviously since the plate went in, it's also had a catch can put in, right? There it is. I don't know if it's genuine or not, whatever. We're not going to talk about catch cans too much on this. You can do whatever you want with your catch can. We don't mind. We just try and help you understand the two different systems. But the reason that plate's not blocked up and causing problems is because it's got the catch can, and the catch can reduces the amount of oil in the intake, but the oil's not a problem, but that's why it's dry and powdery. So ever since then, it's been feeding dry, powdery, you know, exhaust gases and soot through the exhaust. And this vehicle is here because it's got a problem. It's not running right, it's surging, it's running rough, it's blowing smoke, it's doing all these sorts of things. I haven't driven it, I'm going by what I've been told. And you know, things like, oh, but the injectors have been replaced, right? Previous owners and all this sort of thing, right? Bit of butchery's gone on maybe. Let's have a look at this next. Here we go over this side. Now let's have a closer look. We already looked at that orange mess, but I'll tell you what, let's see if we can get the camera in here for you to have a look at this intake manifold. Now, I just want to say, this was meant to have had an intake clean. Is that right? Have I got it? Yeah, I'm getting the nod. Yeah, just making sure I got my facts in line, because we like to be accurate and factual with our information, okay? I haven't spoken to the client a lot on this one, right? So, this one, it's not, okay, so think it through, right? It's blowing smoke and it's had an intake manifold. So if this intake manifold was clean, for it to get this bad, and it's on par with some of the worst we've ever seen, either it wasn't clean, so you got ripped off, or it's got some problem that bad that it's just thrown all this unburnt fuel in there, and that can be the cause of it caking up quickly too. But we think it's been 10 months or something, is that right? 10 months. I've got the light on this. No, I've got the light on. Let's see if we can get in there. From this side, doesn't look too bad from that side. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the angle, guys. I'm going to try. Okay, I'm going to try. Let's get it around, twist it around, inside out, back to front. We're going to try and get it. Get it to, right, I don't know what you can see. I don't know how well you can see that or not. And it doesn't really do it justice, I've got to tell you. It's not really showing you how bad it is. You're going to have to trust my judgment. Looking down there, right, so let's look at this angle here, right? This is probably the go. This angle here like this, and let's try and zoom it in a little bit. Nah, see, it's focusing on this clip that's hanging in the way. Who did this with the bloody wiring loom? See? People that don't watch videos, come on mate, you know? Here we go, we're getting it in there, look. I just want to, like, it's hard to show you, but that port there, Is it there? It's hardly even there. It's like a big belly button that's all sort of closed in or something, you know what I mean? Anyway, right, so this has got some problems. This vehicle has got some problems. Let's have a look. What else? Okay, so the injector line clamps, right? So there's a bolt that goes in a clamp. There's two of these clamps. Bzz, incorrect. No, there's only one of these clamps on this vehicle. One's missing. Just so you know, 3 separate pieces you got to purchase, so that's about 50 bucks worth. And you know the flat clamp that holds the 3 fuel lines against the inlet manifold? Bzz, no, not on this vehicle, non-existent. What else? The other thing we got here, I could be wrong about this, but I reckon the return line, the little gaskets, I reckon they've all been reused. I reckon they're original and they've been reused. They were really tight, super over tightened. Pipes, damage on pipes as well. So, you know, you can have a look, you know, get some proper tools onto there. Well, the clamps there, that's a bonus. But yeah, these were really severely over tightened. They're hollow bolts, guys. You can't be doing that, you know what I mean? So, and we reckon El Cheapo job. They reused the pipes. They, yeah, like I said, reuse those gaskets. So it's definitely a cheap job. But this is what you get. It's the poor man pays twice, right? Let's have a look at the EGR valve here. Doesn't look too bad up there, does it? So you're going, oh yeah, that's not bad. You just got to look further down, because in this case, absolute disaster. So I want to be clear, the reason the plate, it's just dry and powdery like that up there, because of the catch can. You can't put a plate there because normally you've got that small amount of oil. See the little bit of wetness there? And obviously the soot will cake up on it there. At the start of the EGR cooler is where the plate goes. If you choose to put it there, I'm not telling you to put a plate there, and I'll just tell you what works, mate. It doesn't bother me. I don't sell plates, whatever. I don't sell, install, and whatever. I just give information on what works and what doesn't work, and to do things right. Map filter, is that cracked? Whatever. Okay. Now these injectors were meant to have been replaced with new ones. Well, supposedly from what some might believe is a reputable diesel shop in Victoria. Again, we're going to be nice and not name them, give them the benefit of the doubt. At the end of the day, the serial numbers on the injectors we've looked at tell us that some of the injectors were manufactured in 2016, some in 2007, and I reckon 18 and 19. So there's all these different, there's injectors there that were changed 10 months ago. They were up to, they're 4 years old already, right? So like, you know, get your stock organised, or we're not too sure what's going on. Was it, you know, was it some injectors that went into another car? Because there's 4 injectors, 2 of them are the same manufacture date, and the other 2 are kind of a long way from there, if you know what I mean. So it's a bit, what, did they go into a car and come out of a car, a bit of swapping around? I don't know. You know, there's cracks in the valve cover as well, whoever did that. So this place, they didn't necessarily install the injectors, but I just don't know what's going on. Why you would have a manufacture date 4 years different from the oldest to the newest. It just doesn't make sense. What else we got? What else? So we've had our whinge and complain. We've had a bit of a whinge and a complain, that's right. So what are we doing here besides whinging and complaining? Fixing up other people's stuff ups. That's why we're whinging and complaining, because somebody's paid money, okay? So this guy, you know, he's paid for the vehicle. He's purchased off someone that either lied to him, or more likely there's receipts there for injectors. So somebody's paid to have this work done and have the vehicle butchered, because it's, you know, it's blowing smoke, it's carrying on. You can see by the intake down there, it's not good. You know, not the dirtiest engine we've ever seen. Compression tests come up okay, and what's okay on a 1KD, while we're at it, we'll include that in the video, around about 400 PSI. Now you can get a bit over, a bit under, as long as they're nice and even, they're going to be around about there. I've seen a lot of compression tests on 1KDs, so I'll go as far as to say, they say 290 is the minimum. Forget it, you're not going to be anywhere near 290. They say the maximum difference between cylinders is 70 PSI. Forget that as well, okay? We've seen consistently from so many of these, they're all within about 10 PSI. We've seen engines that have got compressions within 20 to 30 PSI of each other that are kaput, they're finished, right? So if you see one that's genuinely down 20 or 30 PSI, you may have a problem. That's where you've got to have it at an expert, someone that's got a lot of experience on the same engine, to be able to go, okay, you know, that, you know, get a second opinion, do another compression test. You know the way we do it with the 4 different compression testers, switch them around, all that sort of thing, and make sure you've got to make sure your results are correct to start off with. Recently we had another vehicle that another workshop did a compression test and told them it needs a new engine. I said, that doesn't make sense, mate. Get it down to me. We checked it out. The compressions were good. And of course, it didn't get a new engine. It got injectors. It got a new turbo. Exactly what he took it in for, a new turbo. It got that in the end. We've fixed up all the butcherism that happened on that vehicle, and it's running quite well. And here's another one. We haven't got time. No, just joking. Of course, we've got time. We'll make time. But you know what? Can't we just do the preventative maintenance, not redo the jobs that other people have done? It's just a total waste of time. There's no economy in it. It's a waste of money. So compressions are good. We're going to sort of risk it for the biscuit. The diagnostic side of things, the injectors looked okay. So we're going to risk it for the biscuit. Look, they didn't clean the seats properly either, right? That was the other thing. So you can have a look down there. They may be clean now. Sort of, they're all being cleaned up, close to ready to put injectors in. But the bottom of the seats and everything like that, you've seen it before. I've shown you in other videos. All black specks on the bottom, the usual sort of stuff, you know. Is there really a need to show you, really? I mean, you know, we can have a look at it. Nah, don't worry about it. Let's not even worry about it. You know, you've seen it before. You know what it looks like. So you need to clean the ports properly. We're going to put the injectors back in. At least we've done the checks. So what's going on with this one? Well, here's something else that's interesting, right? A recent works, right? This is an aftermarket MAF sensor, right? Aftermarket jobby. And if I can read, I reckon it says 12th of the 8th, 20. So, it doesn't say Anthony on it. It says AMTY, whatever, right? So, I don't know if that's a aftermarket replacement and they're calibrated from wherever they're made, the Chinese factory or whatever it is, or who does what when. I don't know what that is, but good guess, Gnostics. Taking a guess that that's what it might be, but we've never seen a problem with a MAF sensor. That being said, we sent someone to, well, actually, we're helping out someone interstate with a problem, a surging problem, that at this stage, as far as I know, it's only been a few days, but at the moment, he took a guess Gnostic based on a mechanic or vehicle technician's thoughts that it was the MAF sensor could be it, so they replaced that. And so far, so good. It stopped doing the surging thing, but we need to give it a bit more time to be sure, Okay, what else? Or is that it? All right. So we've got the three expert technicians here, aka the Three Stooges, and we're just having a little quiet meeting amongst ourselves where to go with this one, right? Where do we go with this? We've done the compression test. Compressions are good. Valve clearances are good. Of course, before we did any of this, we checked the basics. We checked the air filter. You can see that's all nice and clean. The MAF sensor's good. We even did a swap Gnostic, swap it with another car anyway to eliminate that. So we eliminate the most basics first. In my opinion, whenever there's a diesel that's blowing smoke, especially one of these engines that don't blow smoke, it's injectors. You know, injectors are everything. You know, there's not much else that, you know. I suppose we're going to have a look at a few sensors and stuff like that. Fuel pressure, the SCV has been changed, okay, so we didn't install that. That was a DIY installation, right? So slightly upside down, so just beware of that one. I've never had one upside down before. I've never put one in upside down before. I don't believe it would matter, but just take note when you watch the videos, watch them again and again. It should be up the other way, so the plug and the wiring's not twisted and whatever, but not a big deal. It's not going to be the issue, right? So what do we do, guys? We've got a whole manifold full of soot. We could even take the manifold off, clean that out, which would be a good idea. I mean, that's by what I can see there, I can tell you this is one of the ones I want to clean the manifold, but I'd be horrified. And that could be the cause of the blowing smoke, which is why this video is still running and we're thinking out loud and everyone's looking and listening. And you want to put your 2 cents worth in. Sorry, you can't talk, guys, but you can put it in the comments, okay? Obviously it'll be too late and this car will be fixed, and that's why you subscribe, so later on in another video, if I remember, I may mention about what the solution was. So what could have happened here, that's quite caked up there down at, you know, number 4 port. We looked down there already. You can't see too well at the moment, doesn't matter, but if number 4 is blocked and number 3 is blocked and number 1 and 2 are really quite open, you get a different amount of air going into the cylinder, you get a different mixture, so then that's where you can get more noises, rattles and stuff like that, but more so you can get the smoke situation. So On one hand, I want to get to the bottom of the problem before I clean the manifold, because at the end of the day, if we clean the manifold and it's still blowing a lot of smoke, then that could cake up the intake again really quickly. But there's nothing else left. If we trust those injectors were new 10 months ago, and if we trust ourselves that we got them out clean without contamination, the only thing left really is the manifold out of the obvious top reasons what could be causing this to blow smoke. So, or we throw another set of injectors at it at a cost of, we're talking, more money, injectors, then it's injectors, because the pipes we've got another good set of pipes we're going to replace these rubbish pipes with at a small cost, but it'll be new injectors, new pipes, bada bing, it needs a valve cover, or maybe there's a crack in the valve cover, we might be able to get away with a repair on that, or it might be alright. But, we throw the injectors at it and then it doesn't fix the problem. Now, what I would normally say is double or nothing, because I'm pretty confident in these engines, and whenever I put new injectors in, it solves the problem. So I can't see how, if we've done all the checks here, if we put new injectors in, clean the manifold, the thing's got to be right. That's my thinking, but I've been wrong before. Not many times, very small, 0.000000001%. But that's where it's at, guys. So we're just going to conundrum that one and sort of go, do we trust the old injectors? That's the big question. Do we trust the old injectors that were new 10 months ago that have got date ranges back to 2016 manufacture? Were they new, or had they been installed with something else and there was a problem and they've been tried out? It's hard to know the history, which is why I'm going to come back to my favourite line. Be careful who you take your vehicle to. I said it at the start, wrong parts, wrong procedures, people butchering cars. We're really going to have to think about this a bit longer, about whether we're going to put those injectors in and see what happens after a manifold clean, or whether we do the manifold clean and put new injectors in. And we've ticked all the boxes then. Yes. I suppose we've got to look at the turbo as well. Already sussed that out a little bit, but we'll look into that a bit more. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've had a bit of a warning about, just be careful where you go and what you end up with. Please subscribe, turn the bell on if you haven't, so you don't miss the next important bit of information and any updates with this vehicle, and give us a thumbs up if you got something out of that. Bada bing, bada boom, we're out of here. See ya.